Facebook, and hello there to you, my gorgeous design divas on Instagram. It's so good to be here with you. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the interior design advocate because I advocate on behalf of design lovers everywhere across the United States and beyond to empower you with great strategies, formula, path to actually make things happen in your home, to up your design results, get rid of the frustrating room that you don't like, that you never have liked, or that's just falling flat. If you feel like you are spinning your wheels, you're our person, because we get you back on the road using what I teach in my online interior design courses. And when I'm not doing my online courses and the coaching I do across the US with design lovers, then I am running a luxury interior design company based here in the United States in the Philadelphia region. And one of the things I just absolutely love about being able to come out here and talk to you every Tuesday, we stop what we're doing at the studio. I dashed back from a 6-hour tile meeting. I did have a snack with me, thank heavens, thanks to my hubs, who said, you got to bring food with you. Anyway, we put a pin in it so I can come out here and talk to you. I don't care what kind of meeting I'm in. I don't care if I'm working on a billion-dollar home, $1 million home. We stop it to come out here and talk to you every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, both on Instagram Live and Facebook Live. It's my way of connecting with you, seeing what you have in that beautiful head of yours, what's up, and what's on your mind. So today we're talking about a popular topic, and I get so many questions about what to do with that blah, blah, blah that I already own. I call it the torture of the furniture you already own. Now let's just set some conditions here. We are all blessed to have a roof over our head and something to sit on and something to sleep on and something to eat at, right? So the furniture you own, even if it's driving you a little loopy, you're lucky to have it, right? So that goes without saying. That said, what do you do with that furniture that either you inherited and it's just, you've never loved it, doesn't go with anything else you already own? What do you do with the things that you bought? You kind of regret you bought them. Maybe you bought on an impulse because it was on sale, so you grabbed it and you've lived to regret it. Or you really didn't know what you were doing. You hadn't taken one of my online courses in interior design. You didn't know what you didn't know when you were putting your a room together or your whole home together, and now you know more and you're thinking, ugh, what do I do with this such and such that I already own? Can't stand it, or now I see the error of my ways, or it doesn't work with what I had hoped it would work with. Now I understand why. My courses, I don't tell you that you have a problem, but I help you identify if you do and why you have it. And what do you do with the furniture that you've outgrown? You loved it once and now trends have changed since you purchased it maybe, 15, 20 years ago, 12 years ago. Or maybe you've moved, and we talked about this in our Facebook Live last week when we talked, I think that was last week. I feel like 1,000 miles have happened between now and then, but I think that was when we talked about, what you need to know when you're moving and furnishing a new home, what most people don't know, new residents. Furniture is suddenly too big or suddenly too small. Well, what do you do if that's you? What do you do with the furniture that you already own that for some reason isn't working for you anymore? What do you do? Well, yeah, pretty much 4 options. So let's talk about them. And when I'm done teaching, I'm happy to take your question about this topic, provided that I don't need to see a picture to be able to answer you well. All right, so here we go. All right, so in a magical world, option number 1 is replace it all, right? Just start from scratch. And some of you are in a position to do that, or you're doing that in one room, maybe, and then other rooms, if you're residents, you're not. You've got to really work more with what you have. So the total replace is not necessarily realistic for everybody. Option number 2, have you guys heard of, option number 2, before I go into my favorite option number 2 is one that, unless you've been living under a rock and have never read any design blogs ever, or watched any HGTV, or spent any time here with me, option number 2. You recolor it, you recover it, you reupholster it. Yes, you can shorten up a sofa. Somebody DM'd me, said, hey, please don't DM me these questions because I usually can't answer them because I'm out with clients or whatever. But somebody said, hey, can I take 20 inches off of my 94-inch sofa? We said, yeah, we absolutely did that. But when you start shortening up your upholstery, just remember you have seat cushions. So if you have a 4-seat 90+ inch sofa and you want to take 20 inches off of it, what happens to those base cushions? Do you have to rebuild all your cushions? Well, it depends on how much you shorten down your sofa. If it's a single cushion sofa, you'll at least be rebuilding that single cushion. So there's more involved than just get out the chainsaw. But yes, furniture can be recut. Arms can be reshaped. If you spend time with me, you know you can take a rolled arm and you can turn it into a track arm. A good upholsterer can, right? So you can reshape things, recolor things. You can reupholster things. You can paint things. Makes a huge difference. We've talked about this. I don't want to belabor this. So yes, you can definitely do that. Something else you can do as well is you can start to break things apart and put things into new locations. Try not to keep labeling everything. Well, that's my dining room sideboard. Well, maybe it would be okay in a hallway, in a foyer somewhere away from the dining room. Well, not a foyer away from it, but a back hall or someplace where you need a long something. Maybe it's cool looking enough, repaint it. It could turn into a media cabinet, change up the hardware, repaint it, and then get a new sideboard in your dining room with the furniture you are keeping in there. So pull things apart. You know, the spare chair in the living room that you're kind of not loving, maybe you can go into a spare bedroom and get a slipcover or a new fabric on it, or it's okay as it is. You'd be surprised at how well things move from room to room, because we all tend to buy what we love, and we all tend to buy in a particular color palette. So you'd be surprised at how interchangeable things can be. But the biggest, I think, and most fun thing to play with when you are working with furniture that for whatever reason you're not loving, and replacing it all is just not in the cards or doesn't jive with your values, what's important to you, I want you to think about Pareto's law, the 80-20, the rule of 80-20. You know that rule, right? Like 80% of your aggravation will come from 20% of your clients, or 80% of your revenue will come from 20% of your clients. That 80% of the people in your volunteer group will do, no, I take it back. In your volunteer group at church, 20% of the people will do 80% of the work, right? They call it Pareto's law, or it is Pareto's law. It's the 80-20 rule. So think about this with furniture that's kind of driving you loopy. Let's say you have a room. Instead of getting rid of everything and feeling frustrated that you can't, what 20% can you replace? What 20% value changes can you make? So for example, if you have a living room and you know that you made the mistake years ago of buying a living room sofa and you've got a matched chair with it, and you're not loving that, and you don't like the coffee table, you're really tired of a lot of things in the room, what 80% big bang for the buck changes can you make by doing 20% of the things in the room? So for example, maybe you do replace the sofa because it's a big piece of furniture, but maybe it's replace the sofa, add an area rug, keep everything else around it, and repaint the walls. And that phase one might do enough for you. Or if it's your dining room, you know that new chairs would really move the needle for you, and you hate your sideboard. Paint your sideboard, buy new chairs, paint the room, keep the table, keep the rug, deal with the window treatments. So instead of deciding it's got to be all or nothing, as a designer, I say, okay, what are the biggest moves I can make, but the fewest moves I can make? It's sort of like when you're putting on your makeup and you don't want to do the full Monty, and you think, okay, what 5 products can I apply to make me look like I'm from the land of the living, as opposed to the exhausted woman that I really feel like right now? So if you could do that 80-20 thing, that could really help you, and it could also make it a little bit more of like a game to you, so you're not feeling frustrated. Gee, why can't I do everything I want to do? You're not feeling like you're giving too much pressure to your significant other, like, gee, honey, I really want this to happen, and he doesn't want to spend the dollars, or vice versa. So the 80-20 is something I think about as a designer when a client needs us to do something with existing furnishings in a single room. I try to break things apart. I see where I can recolor, reshape, recut. And I also see when dollars are limited, meaning there's the budget is finite. It's just not an elastic budget that can get bigger. then I look at those big bang for the buck changes that we can make. And don't forget to shop elsewhere in your home. In that fictitious living room we just talked about, maybe there's a great piece of art upstairs in a hallway that's not getting a lot of play, but it would really be great in the living room. You know, it's just try not to label things. Oh, that's the hallway art. Oh, that's the living room chair. Oh, that's the dining room sideboard. You can move things around more than you think that you can. I'm taking, for one family we're working with, we're taking an existing media cabinet from an existing great room, and in their new residence, that is going to be in a hallway with 2 chairs on either side of it. It's a beautiful piece. We don't need it anywhere else as far as a media cabinet goes, but we are re-envisioning where it's going. We're taking 2 chairs from her existing office. One is going into a spare bedroom, and the other one doesn't have a home. We're taking a coffee table from her existing office, and it's going to go into a sitting room off of a bedroom. We're reusing a coffee table from one sitting room in her existing residence, and it's going to go into a living room in the new residence. So get rid of those labels, because I think that can really confine your thinking. And you want to just kind of open up your thinking, put some breath around everything, try to see things with fresh eyes, okay? So if you have a question that you'd like to type in on this topic, I'm glad to take it, as long as I don't need to see a picture to be able to answer you well. So scooch that in. And if there are no questions, we can wrap early. While I'm giving you time to put those questions in, I'll just let you know if you missed any portion of this, you can find us on YouTube at The Interior Design Advocate, my fancy sign there. That's at The Interior Design Advocate on YouTube. You'll not only see all of our Facebook Lives, they'll be time-coded by top. I don't know if they're time-coded, not time-coded, but there's the topic is listed. And we also have other video that we cut you'll see on our YouTube channel as well. And if you missed any portion of this and you're on Facebook and you're not following us on Instagram, hey, you're missing the whole party. At decorating.genius is how you find us for my online teaching brand. And if you're curious about what we're doing in our studio, our design studio, that's at IDH Designs. That's at IDH Designs. Sorry, I'm getting some stuff from my light there. And I told you, I think a couple weeks ago, that I'm really trying to make a point of sharing more from the design studio on the at IDH Designs handle. So I just posted some information. I just did some stories about being up in my daughter's little apartment up in New York, what we're doing up there, and a big residence we're building down here for one client. And so there it is. All right, so let's see who's here, what's happening, and if indeed we have questiones. All right, so I'm getting a lot of hellos from people, from Shelly and Dawn and Dwanelle. Susan Green sent me a big happy smiley face. Lori's here from North Carolina. Farah's here again. Hey Farah, glad you're back. All right, Susan is here from North Wales, PA, right around the corner. Susan and I are getting rained on, sleeted on, and hailed on today. At least I was earlier today. Yeah, there it is. Okay, good afternoon from Birmingham. Okay, I'm getting all the hellos. So hello across the country. Let's see if there are any questions. So Bonnie is saying, where can I find a great microfiber sofa that is super comfortable but doesn't look like a big blob? Bonnie, big blob is such a good term. It's actually a design term. I don't know where you can find great microfiber sofas. So if somebody wants to tell Bonnie that, because Bonnie, we work in so much custom furniture, and we don't tend to put a lot of microfibers on furniture. So I cannot help you there. Here's one thing I will warn you about with microfiber or even a velvet. Do the scratch test. Take the fabric and take your fingernails and rub back and forth. And if you see marks, you're going to have high knee marks. When people stand up, you're going to see their butt print in that sofa or that chair. If that's going to bother you, take a pass on that fabric and find something else. There are velvets or that are very short hair that don't do that, and microfibers tend to show rear end marks. But anyway, not lobbying against microfiber. So Bonnie, there it is. I don't have anything for you, babe. RebHack12 on Insta is saying, what's my opinion on swivel chairs? Do they make ones that lock in position? RebHack12, I get the feeling that you're a neat Nancy and maybe a little anal retentive like me, right? Seeing those furniture pieces askew all the time, which is what's going to happen with your swivel chairs. It can be a little bit of a nuisance. You would think, you know, there are kitchen stools, bar stools that swivel back and lock back into position, which is great. You know, you get up and it goes boing, and it goes right back into position. I don't really see those at all in armchairs, Reback 12, now that you armchairs that swivel, and I'm wondering if it's because of the weight of the chair and the mechanism required to do that, or if it would just be a tripping hazard. People would start to get up and the chair would move and, you know, grandma will fall. So answer is no, I don't know about any that keep their position, but my opinion on swivel chairs, I love them. I think they're great. I think they're very versatile. I think they're comfortable. I think people love them to sit in them. Here's the thing with swivel chairs where people screw up. You have to be very clear on what the clearance needs to be for your swivel to go in you know, back and forth. So you can't pack between two swivel chairs a little martini table or sidearm table and expect your swivel chairs to move, right? So the swivel chairs need to sit slightly away from something, and you need to allow the movement for them to do their thing. When they're tub chairs, which is a rounded swivel, you can also get swivels that are square back, right? That shape. But rounded swivels are great because they're great space savers. I love them. So there you go. I think they're great in the right, you know, context. So there it is. Hope that helps you. Okay, so this is scooching around here. Oh, I missed all these questions. What's happening? Angie is saying, best paint to cover a cherry desk, chalk paint, fusion mineral paint. Thanks. Angie, I couldn't tell you. If you spent any time with me here, Angie, you know I design it. I can't make it or build it. I've been nicely asked to leave a sewing shop in grad school. Said, come back and have coffee, just don't sew anything or touch a machine. And in college, I was asked to leave a shop with big power tools, and it also told the same thing. Hey, you're a lot of fun. Feel free to stop in and socialize with us, but just don't build anything. So I can't tell you what is the best paint. Somebody can tell that to Angie. Sorry, Angie babes. Hug and a kiss nonetheless. Okay, Sandra is saying, hi, Donna. Not a question, but a comment. I've had good luck selling unwanted furniture and decorative accessories. It helps expand the budget too. Facebook Marketplace, Let Go, Kijiji, and Craigslist. Hey, that's really nice information from Sandra. I like that. Really good. I like that. Angela Culbert on Insta is saying, what is your thought about having different stains on wood furniture in the same room? I'm fine with it, but we'll talk about how. This happened when I switched furniture from one room to another. Okay, Angie, 80-20 rule, right? Try to have 80% of your wood tones. Now, do designers do this? Not as much to this degree, but I'm trying to really simplify it for you as non-professionals. 80-20. 80% of your furniture woods in one color value range within 5 to 10 to 15% of each other. And then you can have 20% in like a little something different, darker or lighter, right? Little eye candy. So definitely you can absolutely mix. Where it gets complicated is, you know, what colors are you mixing, and does it work in context with the whole space? But in a general sense, that's that answer. I stick to it. All right, Angela. So hopefully that helps you, kiddo. And send in a follow-up if you have one. Susan Green is saying she likes Lazy Boy for good microfiber fabs. Thank you, Susan. Jill Fry is saying, hi, Jill from Park City, Utah here. Hello, Jill from Park City, Utah. I don't think I've ever been to Utah. It sounds like it's supposed to be just stunning out there. Wait a minute. Steve, where did I faint when I was in that airport for QVC? I was pregnant running for my plane. Was that? Oh, it was Denver. Sorry, Colorado. I was as pregnant as you can be and still fly for business. I was still a QVC show host, and I was running in the Denver airport. I guess I was only like 5 months pregnant. But I started to feel so lightheaded. I have really low blood pressure, and I didn't really know about altitude sickness at that point. And I thought, I'm literally having this thought as I'm pregnant running, trying to make my connecting flight to get home. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to pass out. I don't know if I'm going to make my plane. Quick, stop and get a frozen yogurt. I thought that would help me. So now I'm a faint, lightheaded pregnant woman running with like a shoulder bag and my frozen yogurt. I made my connection. I did not faint. But there it is. So I don't know. I'm sorry for that little bit of babble. I'm coming from a 6-hour tile meeting, so I'm a little pooped. All right, Jill says, although this is not furniture, I need to keep the granite along the perimeter counters in my kitchen. Okay, Jill, you're asking an off-topic question, so I'll see if I can come back to you. I'll see if I have more questions on topic. Okay, Melissa is saying, speaking of sofas, I'm looking for a top grain all leather sectional. Is there a great reputable company that makes one to last? Anybody has a recommendation for Melissa? You can try that. Leather's tricky. There are so many different grades of leather out there. And make sure you are not being lied to and buying a pleather or faux leather. There was a big thing, a big expose a couple of years ago with these faux leathers that were being passed off as leathers, and they were peeling within a year of ownership. It was bad. There were a lot of news stories on it. Eileen is saying, I took a cherry traditional hutch and made it into a French country feeling by painting the provincial blue-green and hardware to a French style in my knobs. Great bar in my kitchen by also hanging the upper portion high up on the ceiling. Very creative. You know what else I've seen people do with hutches? They'll paint them, open them up, paper the back, and turn it into a bar. I've seen that done really well. That looks good. Sue is saying, Donna, what style dining room chairs go best with an antique oak table? The cane seat chairs I inherited are just too delicate to use. You know, Sue, you know what I would do? Do you know what a Parsons chair is? It's an upholstered chair, but it's a very simple squared back. But it's fully upholstered with a simple leg. I would start with something all upholstered first, in a simple, solid, don't get all colorful or, don't get all patterny. And I would start there. And if you want to give it a little bit of a rounding to the back, but don't do a camel, don't get all froofy and fluffy because you have the froof and fluff in your existing table without seeing a picture, I would tell you probably try to start with the Parsons chair. If you don't know what a Parsons chair is, write that down, Parsons, Google it. And you can find Parsons chairs really all price points, Home Goods, Wayfair. I think everybody has them. All the catalogers that you guys are dealing with, Pottery Barn and Restoration Hardware, and everybody's got them. It's a real basic. It's like the basic black dress. So there it is. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to say this one. On Instagram, JB Divine Ms. J. I'm just going to call you JB, is asking, I would like to know if there is a table for a living room that can be used for a buffet table. I would think you maybe want to think about a console table that can be against a wall. They're usually about 18 deep. They can be 60 long. They can be 72. They can be 48. Usually around 60 long is 18 by 60 is average. And the nice thing is that you can use those. So they're wonderful as just you hold art. One lamp or two lamps, beautiful setup. You can do, ottomans beneath, like 2 ottomans beneath. And then when you want to use it for serving, you're not going to get a big, round bagel tray on there. But, oh gosh, a bagel would be so good right now. I'm starting to feel hungry for lunch. Anyway, but you can, do your dessert set up there or set the bar up there. So, but I mean, a real buffet, like where you're serving a meal, I don't believe so, because you need too much depth. A console table usually sits against a wall or behind a sofa. So hopefully, JB, that helps you. If you got a follow-up, zip it in there. Okay, so Susan Green is giving a thumbs up to swivel chairs. Eileen is saying on the what do I paint my thingy? She likes chalk paint. Susan has icicles in the trees there. Do we have icicles? Nope. Just looks gloomy. It's going to be gloomy out here for the next 3 months. Welcome to the Northeast. Sandra is saying, when space planning and deciding what furniture to keep, I already love Sandra Crow. This is already brilliant, Sandra, that you're asking me about space planning. You guys, you cannot skip space planning, and Sandra is not. I love that. All right, Sandra, you already have a hug and a kiss and a gold star for me. When space planning and deciding what furniture to keep, how do you determine if the height of the sofa and chairs will work in a room? Height doesn't transfer to graph paper like length and width. Oh, Sandra, you're so good. So in my Decorating Genius online course, Decorating Genius 7 Simple Steps to Great Rooms, I show you how you do a workable, a viable, optimal space plan, and how you're just going to keep doing as many versions of that as possible in a room, whether you draw it, whether you use a program, free program, whatever, it doesn't matter. So you have to make the first determination for just the space plan, right? Will it fit? Will I have adequate pass through? But the interesting thing that Sandra is coming to now is the more advanced way that a design brain looks at furniture. And this is something that a young designer messes up pretty immediately in her career or his career. They don't stop and think about, well, what is that furniture three-dimensionally? Yeah, it's going to work spatially, but do these pieces sit well in conversation? And then sometimes, to Sandra's point, they might sit well in certain layouts with their heights, but not in other heights. For example, I'm doing a sunroom right now, and my client asked me to redo a space plan in a way that I really would not have preferred to have done the room, but it was workable. I didn't think it was a deal breaker. But because of the way he wanted these chairs placed between these two twin sofas, and because of how you see them when you walk into the room, Sandra, I knew I had to control that chair back and leave it low. So Sandra, I'm telling you all this to say that I adore the fact, I'm excited and thrilled for the fact that you are thinking in such an advanced way. So number one, I think if you ever do want to learn more about design strategy, I don't know if you're one of my students, whether it's from me or some other resource, I think you would run with design strategy because you are already showing me you have a strategic design brain. That is a good thing. So what I want you to do, Sandra, is I want you to take photographs of all of your pieces of furniture. One photo, print it out, 8x10 paper, lay it out on, your whatever table you're working on, maybe on JB's buffet table. Sorry, JB. And then I want you to decide aesthetically, what pairings do I like? Make sure you've written your measurements on your pieces of paper and see what pairings you like, and then test it out on your space plan, see if those work, okay? What Sandra is talking about is something that I shut down young designers on. I'll say, listen, even when they're bringing me new furniture items, I'll say, this is good, but I don't agree with your chair heights here. I don't agree with your sofa height against this chair, or vice versa. Or I don't agree with your table heights next to this arm. All right, so you got to think about all of it. Design is one of those things that looks so easy, like ice skating, until you start doing it. And then you think, oh, good grief, it's a quagmire, a quicksand pit of decisions. And it really is. So, Sandra, I hope that helps you. I loved your question to pieces. Home Decor Life Love, how are you? Home Decor Life Love is asking on Instagram. I'm redoing my dining room, and my neighbor has asked me to help her. Woot woot. That's good. I was reading the woot woot. That wasn't my commentary. The giggle was my commentary. My possible first design job. Oh my goodness. We both have robin's egg blue and love it, but feel like it's had its time. Any new blue colors that are current? Yeah, blues are really graying down and have been for a while, getting really pale, or they're navy. And every iteration of navy, inky navy, a bright, really kind of light navy, if that makes sense. Like it has a lot of vibrancy to it. Stay away from those mid-tone blues. They can get really syrupy and low end looking really fast. So I would go there. Good luck, Home Decor Life Love. I love it. I hope you're on my mailing list, Home Decor Life Love, for when we launch our program to support women. We were just going to do it initially for women who wanted to start their design business, but I thought, no, I think we have to be broader than that, because it's really for people who have a design business 7 years young or younger, because it's such a building and growth phase in those first 7 years that we're going to do, our program is going to be for women who are either starting out or have started within the last 7 years, and that their business is not rolling out the way it should be. They're being reactive instead of proactive. But anyway, there it is. So good luck. And I love that you're doing that. So there you go. Okay, Carrie Eaton on Insta is saying, I have 2000s style furniture tile in the kitchen. It has lots of movement. And cream and solid surface countertop, I need to change. Okay, so I'm taking furniture questions, not kitchen. Sorry, I've already turned somebody else down on that one too. Sorry, Carrie, but thank you for putting it in. I want to see if we have other furniture questions because I got to get out of here. We've already gone long, and I just got the call from Steve. 2 more questions. Okay, so Joe Collins is saying, first phase is done. Now I'm left with a hardwind wingback chair in good condition, but with Queen Anne legs, awful flame stitch fabric. Is it financially better to change legs and fabric or buy lesser quality since harden is so expensive now to replace? Queen Anne legs are tough, man. They're just, Joe, they're not a current moment, really. I think you should bite the bullet and replace, and if that's not the option, reupholster in a fantastic fabric, paint those legs, and there you go. Because by the time you reupholster and change out your legs, you may as well just buy a new chair. You know, there it is. Although I don't know what a harden would cost to replace today, so that's my knee-jerk reaction. Okay, here we go. Last question. Before I take the last question, I want you to know next week's topic, 4 p.m. Eastern, is how to accessorize a bathroom. This was so popular last year when we offered it. We're doing it again. How to accessorize a bathroom and not screw it up. That's the little tagline there. Okay, so last question. Let's make it a goodie. Okay, Cindy Anderson is saying, hello from Nashville. Hello, Cindy from Nashville. I love my 80s glass dining room table, Cindy says, but I need a new table base. Can't seem to find one. Any suggestion where to look or design ideas? Cindy, any suggestions I would have for customization like that would be options that are only open to the trade, kiddo. So I wouldn't be able to tell you where to go for that. I'm sorry. Maybe if somebody has something, they can plug that in for you. But yeah, designing table bases is a lot of fun and we do it all the time. So I don't have a resource for you, Cindy. I'm sorry. So one more question since I couldn't do that one. Okay, so Shirley is next in line and she says, hi, any creative ways to repurpose an old 1800s wooden double headboard and footboard? The headboard is 6 feet tall, heavy ornate carved wood. It's beautiful and I would like a creative way to use it other than a bed. Any thoughts? Not a one. No, I don't have a thought for you. So one more question. I'm sorry, there's 2 questions I didn't have thoughts for. Look, that really ornate, heavily carved look is not easy to work with right now. The design has just gotten more and more streamlined. And if you are going to have something like that, cool antique, everything should get really fresh and clean around it. And how to repurpose that bed so it can be something else, you got me. I never heard that. I have no idea. And then Slanjana said, Donna, is it wrong to see legs of almost all furniture in the room? Does it have to balance? You know, Slanjana, I hope I'm saying your name right. It depends on the height of the legs, right? So I wouldn't do all 6-inch tapered legs throughout a whole room unless I'm doing uber modern and I want to catch a lot of air underneath. Think about that with your furniture, that expression. It's my expression, you can use it. Do I want to catch some air under this? I tend to, depending upon, if I'm working in a transitional design style, I think about varying that. So if I'm in a low chow foot on a sofa, yeah, my chairs might go into a 6-inch taper, right? I might catch a little more air under those chairs. And maybe the ottoman, the cocktail ottoman, maybe it's a block and it comes right down, you know, right to the rug. There is no leg. So I'll vary it that way. But I think you can get fairly leggy in a room, and then to find a couple of pieces where you're dropping your front rail more. That's the front, you know, section of a sofa or a chair. So hopefully. All right, my lovelies, listen, I am beyond exhausted. I made it back just in time to come out here and talk to you, which I have loved. And I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of your questions. There are more of you than there are of me. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you'll join me this coming Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. We will be here live on Insta and Facebook, talking about how to accessorize a bathroom perfectly and gorgeously, okay? What you need to know. Okay, lovelies, I'll see you next week. Stay healthy, stay well. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye now. Hi, this is Donna. Thanks so much for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and comment below so I know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the Interior Design Advocates channel so you don't miss any of our great content.